So as of 2023, the fashion industry has become the second top contributor of pollution following oil production. This can be seen in airways from shipping clothing to consumers, chemical water waste in our waterways from dyeing garments and anything of that nature, and also textile waste ending up in our landfills. This, as Dr. Khan said, is in part due to fast fashion. So fast fashion is this concept where online retailers or retailers produce clothing very quickly with cheap items of clothing. So they break really quick, and the lifespan of the garment does not last very long. So in order to keep up with consumer demand, online retailers have really leaned onto this practice, which in turn has led to a lot more pollution in our world. So my study specifically focused on how educational infographics, as you can see right there, can influence attitude change towards being more eco-friendly with consumer clothing choices and their shopping habits. So 92 US adults took a survey where they answered all of their factors about what that goes into shopping for clothing. So brand, price, style, trend, really an emphasis on trend, and then kind of what keeps their clothing in their closet. So if they're bored, do they continue to wear it? Do they throw it out? Do they donate it, swap it with a friend? So anything of those factors. And then they were exposed to these infographics where they learned about what fast fashion is, how it's impacting our world, and how they can individually make a change. So by donating and everything like that, 3 to 6 days later, they took the survey again based on those factors to see if there was any attitude change towards being more eco-friendly. So what we looked for is a reduction in attitude changes. So like if they will shop at a more eco-friendly place, if they will look for more sustainable practices when they're buying their clothing, or if they will even just slow down their clothing consumption. What we saw is that there was a significant increase in eco-friendly considerations. So like I said, looking for those better factors of where they are shopping from. A significant decrease in waste of clothing. So we actually saw that a lot of people were more considerable towards not throwing out their clothing and either donating it, swapping it out, or just wearing it longer, or even turning it into something like rags for washing. And then we also saw a marginal increase in adopting eco-friendly habits and a marginal increase in likelihood to shop at eco-friendly retailers. The only problem with that is that there's a lot of different factors that go into this, so it was a little hard to narrow down on it. But yeah, so we saw that sorry, that was it. Yeah. I was trying to beat the time.
Thank you so much, Madison, for that. So this is intriguing. A question for you. These infographics seem to have a significant impact, but how do we get these infographics in front of the people who really need it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So a really big target towards these rapid changing trends is what we see in social media. So I'm sure all of you are aware of TikTok, Instagram. I mean, there's things like what are called micro trends, but getting these things onto social media, like little ads while they're scrolling, might really help in just seeing like, hey, what I'm buying might not be the best thing, because I know some of you might be aware of like Amazon, Shein, even Target and Old Navy, which I'm also a culprit of. I can't deny that. But all of these things actually have some pretty unsustainable practices, and so seeing these on everyday feed like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything like that would be really helpful.
Okay, good. Questions? Yes, right here.
Was donating clothing considered one of the sustainable practice, or was it like a difference between throwing it away versus?
Yeah, so mainly what we were trying to find is what they do when they're done with their garment. So it was just kind of all trashing it, donating it. It wasn't really defined as separated, but that was considered one more of an eco-friendly concept.
Yeah. Thank you. How do you know that attitude change is real and will translate into behavior, as opposed to just being emblematic of social desirability and telling you what they think you want to hear?
Right. So unfortunately, because we did want to look at behavior change, but that is a little bit hard. We can't confirm if they will be making these attitude changes or not. What we really wanted to hope for is that they see this and think more about where they are buying their clothing from.
Yes.
Hi, I was wondering if you took into account people's socioeconomic status, as people of lower socioeconomic status may not have the resources to be able to shop more sustainably, and they may also not have access to transportation to get to like a thrift store per se.
Right, yes, we did take that into account. We did not take it into account for the results of this study. We will be planning to expand on it later on, but we did not put that into account for this. But yes, we did.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question. Or we have enough time to applaud very loudly for Madison.